Hello everyone, and hello in particular to my good friend Shawn from gypsiescloset.webs.com. This is going to be your reading, Shawn, that you requested from me. As you can see, I've got 3 decks of cards laid out. I've got the Wildwood Tarot, I've got my trusty Robin Wood Tarot here, and I've also got my Druidcraft Tarot deck, and I will be using one of these decks each to answer your questions. Okay, so let me just clear literally the decks, and I'll make a start on the first question. Okay, so your first question, Shawn, was about friends. I'm aware from the message that you sent me that you've moved and you're really having a difficult time connecting with people at the moment in your current location. You were wondering when this is likely to change and when you're likely to make some good friends where you are now. So let's have a look and see what the cards have to say. The way I'm going to do this one is I'm going to do kind of a past, present and future scenario, and we'll see what the cards have to say. Okay, so just give them a quick shuffle and wait for that point where they tell me to stop. Now, first of all, let's have a look at the friends in your old location. Okay, so I'm just going to talk you through the first 3 cards. The 3 cards, the way they've come out for you, Shawn, the middle card really shows kind of how you felt about your friends in your past location and how you sort of connected to them. And what's come out is the Page of Stones, which in this deck is this rather gorgeous Lynx card. Now, that brings up an awful lot of feelings with me. First of all, stones in this deck is roughly equivalent to pentacles in other decks, so that you can understand. That's an earth element. So what I'm sensing is that you felt really grounded where you were before. You were very young, and you felt very grounded in that location and very happy and contented. Lynx is also about knowledge, to my mind anyway, and what I'm being made aware of here is that you had a situation where you really felt you knew where you were and what you were doing when you were with these friends. Now, what also came out here was this card, which is the 10 of Arrows, which in this particular deck has the tagline Instruction. Now, it's worth mentioning that arrows in this deck is roughly equivalent to swords in other decks, so you're immediately thinking, ooh, 10 of Swords. But bear in mind, what we've got here is a situation where I feel you learned a lot from these people. And you learned a lot in your situation there anyway. And perhaps all of it wasn't positive, you know? I mean, let's be honest, unless you live some sort of charmed life, whose young life is always positive. But you learn from it, and you learn lessons from it. And I feel that's what you will have done in your past situation, in your past location. But the other card that's come out here, which I think in this spread, as we've got currently, represents you, is one of my favourite animals actually, the wolf. This is the King of Stones. Now, if you recall, in the middle here, we've got the Page of Stones. So, look at it from this point of view. You've got, in a sense, a pack. You've got a group of friends all together, learning from each other, exchanging knowledge with each other, and of course you have to have a pack leader. And what the King of Stones is making me sense is that you were the pack leader to a large extent. They were your circle of friends, they were people you felt comfortable with, and you know, as well as much as wolves can tend to be solitary creatures, they value community and they value friendship. So what we're really looking at with this spread at the moment is the situation you found yourself in, what you learned from that situation, and how you responded to that situation. So if we follow in that format for where you are now. So let's have a look. Now what we're looking for here is where you are in your current situation and how you feel in this current situation. Now then. What we have here is the 9 of arrows, which again, arrows roughly is equivalent to swords in this deck. And what we have here is a woman collecting arrows. In actual fact, she's picking up these arrows, and she's wearing this beautiful shawl. And interestingly, this actually reminds me a little bit of you yourself, Shawn. Having seen some of your excellent videos before, I know you have a liking for shawls. So this card actually does link in my mind directly to you. Now, the word on the card is dedication. So the woman is having to really work hard. She's having to be really dedicated and really sort of it's quite a hard situation for her, really, which suggests to me that where you are now, you really are feeling like you're having to work very, very hard, and it's not as easy with your friends, with the friends that you have around you, as you know it used to be, really. So that's the situation you find yourself in. And obviously the other thing as well that I'm just literally just having put into my mind here is she's collecting arrows. So she's collecting these challenges that the suit of air tends to bring, and it's almost like she's having to pick up the pieces all the time. So I'm left to wonder if you sometimes feel like you're constantly having to pick up the pieces, and you're constantly having to mend everything. Now, looking at your lessons from where you are currently, we have this card, which is the Queen of Bows, and this is the hare. Now, bows in this deck are roughly equivalent to wands in other decks. And we have the Queen. We have the Fire Queen, essentially. Now this is a very strong, very determined individual. It's somebody who is very energetic, has a lot of bright ideas, and really is very forceful. And what I'm feeling that this is making you learn is that strength. That's the word that's coming through here. Again, we've got a hare. Now hares are very, very quick. They really can move and change locations when they have to. They could really, in a sense, get a spurt on. But also they have the ability to go underground and to come back up again. So what I feel you're learning here is, in a sense, not only strength and willpower is the word that's coming to mind, but also a sense of when to hide your feelings and when not to. It's really a case of judging things, I feel, with the hare, and that is your lessons here. Now, as for your own sort of manifestation of your own way in your current situation. As we had the wolf in the previous one, we had the king of stones. Here, what we've got is the archer. Now this may take a little more explaining. The archer is card 7, which in this deck is the chariot, and he's actually the Norse god Ulla. Now the archer is very, very sharp. He's got huge willpower, very, very acute vision. He locks onto what he wants and he goes for it. Very much along the chariot archetype, really, because what we're looking at here is somebody who is very, very willful and has a great deal of willpower and really focuses. So what you're having to do in your current situation, what it is creating in you, is that willpower, is that focus on where you want to go. And to be honest, there could also be an indication here, again thinking back to the chariot, there could also be an indication here that you're actually a little tired of the circle of friends that you have around you, and you're looking for that to move forward and for that to change. So let's have a look at the possible future outcome from this, and let's see where your lessons are in terms of friends in the future, in your current location, but perhaps, as I said, a new group of friends. Okay, excellent. Now, as a middle card indicating the situation, we could not really hope for a better card than this one. This is the 6 of arrows. Now again, think what I said before, arrows is equivalent to swords. So what we're looking at here is the 6 of swords. We're looking at the ship sailing out of danger, sailing away from difficulties. So that immediately makes me feel that what we are dealing with here is you will have a change in your friends. That will come forward. You will move away from the difficulties that you've been having and move towards the friends and the connections around you that you're really looking to have. So that truly is an excellent first card. Lessons, if we look at the lessons from that, we have the 2 of arrows. Now this is in a format you probably will recognize. Again, arrows, think like swords. We have the woman holding the 2 arrows. We have the scales of justice above her. She weighs things up. She has the coins on one side and she has the feather on the other side. She has a bow trapped under her feet. Now, I'm being made aware of a little link mentally, the bow being the archer's bow. So she has that willpower under her control. She has the arrows that she collected up in the 9 of arrows, and she has the choice to make. The lessons here are about making that choice, making that decision as to who are good friends, who are not so good friends, who she wants to have around and who she doesn't want to have around. So the suggestion here is that yes, you will move away from having, in a sense, difficult friends towards having better, more supportive, more loving, more genuine friends. But a lot of it will be down to your own decision making as to what you are prepared to accept in friendship and what sort of people you want around you. It's your choice, it's your decision. And your own personality in this. We have, again, another excellent card. We have the Ace of Arrows here. Again, the ace, the arrows are equivalent to swords. Ace here indicates, to what I'm seeing here, success, overcoming the difficulties that you've experienced in the past. So what we're seeing here, it actually says on the card it says the breath of life. So to me, this is that defining moment. This is that point at which you get the people around you that you deserve, and that who will value you for who you are. So really, what this spread of cards is saying is just stick with it, but be dedicated, have the will to get what you want, know when to push things and when not to, when to get underground and when to be overground, and it will come. And also learn to be discerning with the people that you have around you. Really weigh things up, and if somebody is being difficult with you, or is not showing themselves to be worthy of your time, then you have the choice to make whether you continue to give them your time. That's the feeling that I get from this. So I hope that helps with question number 1. So I'm just going to clear away. And we'll move on to question number 2. Okay, I've changed decks, and I'm going to be using the Robin Wood Tarot for this particular part of the reading. And what we're looking at here, your second question to me was in relation to your job. I'm aware that you, from your question, that you've applied for a particular job which you would like, and I want to sort of see basically where you're at the moment with this, where you feel you're at, what your physical situation as things are now, your mental processes of where you feel this might go, the positives and negatives of this, and a potential outcome. That's the way that I'm laying this out. So I'm starting here with where you are at the moment, and what we have is the King of Swords. So we have a lot of things being weighed up. This, as you, Shawn, is really an excellent card, because it's someone who's very controlled and very clear thinking, and who's looking at the situation and trying to weigh things up, and has that real strength, that kingly strength with them, but also the intellect, the speed of the sword's mind with them. Now, where you're feeling in terms of this situation is what we have is the Judgment card. Again, slightly different imagery if I show you this card. Slightly different imagery to what you might be used to in some of the more Rider-Waite equivalent decks. We have this Phoenix woman of fire bursting out of the cauldron, and there's a real feeling of rebirth whenever I see this card. It's almost like, yes, this would be a fantastic thing. This really would be an excellent thing for you. It would give you renewed energy and renewed vigor, and enable you to sort of drive forward, and you would feel much better and much happier from it. So what we have on a positive side here, we have a fantastic card in relation to this. We have the Star. The Star card to me is always about long-term hopes and dreams. So on the positive side, I think this would pretty well be a dream job for you. It would be something that you really enjoy and you'd love doing. So I do. The cards reflect that absolutely. On the negative side, or slightly challenging side, you might say, because this is not really a negative card, we have Temperance. So I do think that you may have to be a little bit patient here. I don't think you'll necessarily hear back as quickly as you would like to. So you're so fired up really for this, and it's such something that is so dear to your heart in a way that I think you're going to have to be a little bit patient and sort of just kind of wait and see and let things come as they come. Now, the potential outcome card we've got is the Eight of Cups, which may potentially, as you look at that, be worrying you slightly. The feeling I get more than anything from this is of moving on. Moving, but not moving away from what you want, moving towards what you want. When I see the Eight of Cups, unless the cards around it really dictate otherwise, what I tend to see with this card is a moving towards your better place, a moving towards your goals and your dreams, rather than moving away from them. I do think it will enable you to put behind you a lot of emotional turmoil and problems that you've had in the past few months, perhaps even up to a couple of years. I do think it will enable you to put that behind you, and it will enable you to move forward and into what you want. So I would say, and as you know, as I'm sure you know, Shawn, as you're someone who reads yourself, you can never be 100% guarantee, but I do think this looks very, very favourable for this job, or at least for a job very, very similar to the one that you've applied for. If not that one, then I do think that's where you need to be, because that is, from the cards I'm getting, that is going to be what will really enthuse you, and really, it's where you want to be in terms of a sort of a day-to-day job. So I hope that helps you. Okay, I'm just going to clear these away, and we'll have a quick look at the final question that you asked me. Moving now to my Druidcraft Tarot deck, which is the largest format of the three decks. Just give them a quick shuffle. And what we're looking at here is your own spiritual path. And I'm aware that you have some particular areas you would like to sort of move into in terms of your spiritual work. So let's see what sort of comes up. I'm going to do this in a slightly more sort of traditional past, present, future kind of way, and see what we get coming up. Now, in the past, I'll show this to camera, what we have is the Seven of Pentacles, which does make me think that you've been thinking for a little while now about, you've been looking at your situation and looking at what you offer, what you can offer on a spiritual level, and really deciding where the sort of next step forward is. Because this comes in the past part of the spread, I do feel that this is something you've been doing for a while. You've been looking and thinking, oh, is there more that I can do? Is there more, more progression for me coming forwards? Now, moving to the present, we have an amazingly happy card. I always love to see this card come out in any deck. We have the Sun. So I think that spiritually, you're in a very good place at the moment. You have energy, you have that connection to spirit, and you really are in a happy place at the moment. It's a great card for possibilities, and for really you being able to say, well, almost the sky is the limit really, and perhaps not even that. I do feel that where you are at the moment, you could pretty well turn your hand to whatever you wanted to spiritually. I think you have the connection, I think you have the energy there to do it. Let's just add a little bit to that. I'm looking really here more on a sort of a subconscious level and a conscious level. This card here, you'll recognise, rather wonderful in this deck. This is the Justice card. This is the subconscious. So this to me is the unseen forces, and it backs up what we have in the Sun card here, that you have that spiritual support for whatever it is that you choose to do. You really do have that support, and that the scales tipping in your favour really for whatever it is that you choose to do. Now, on a conscious level, you have your own intuition. We have the High Priestess here, and you have your own intuition about where you want to go. You naturally, intuitively know what it is that you're looking to do, and what it is that you're looking to offer to people. So let's have a look at the potential outcome here. And what we have is the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles, to me, is a great card of generosity, of giving, of basically being able to offer to people. But I would say in this particular instance as well, be aware that we're talking on a spiritual level here. So what I would say is, with this Six of Pentacles, is make sure to offer in a sense, a very spiritual way, a very charitable way. Keep your focus on the spiritual side, and let everything else take care of itself, because you really have the support, and you have the energy, and you have the intuition to do it. So really, keep your focus on your spiritual growth, and I really think that you will progress far with it, and you'll be able to do whatever it is that you choose. And as I say, I know from the question that you asked me that you do have a particular thing in mind, which I don't see any blocks to at all, really. It's going to be a case of you finding somebody who can help you to do those things, teach you those things if they're things that you need to learn, and you have it around you to do it. So best foot forward. I would really go for it. Okay, so that concludes the reading for today. I hope this has been of a help to you, Shawn, and keep in touch with me, and if you've got any sort of further questions, feel free to let me know. And have a fantastic day, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.